Hey guys, welcome to episode 17 of my Road to 2000 FIDE. In this series, I cover the KNSB and RSB games that I play at my local chess club, and I am trying to reach a FIDE rating of 2000. At the moment of recording this, I believe my FIDE rating is 1871 with a peak of 1905. Unfortunately, I haven't been playing very good chess lately. I've been quite in a bad run, both online and over the board. Today, hopefully, we can improve upon that. So we're gonna see if we can win. This is the second time I'm playing with white. This was on Monday, last Monday. So 2 days after the previous video that we made for this series. And it started off with me playing e4, e5, knight c3, the Vienna, bishop c5, bishop c4, knight f6. So not quite what I'd hoped for. Knight c6 would have been my favorite copycat line. However, in this particular situation, I'm supposed to play d3. I don't want to allow knight c4 and d5, which is the center fork trick, of course. So h6, knight f3, d6, knight a4, a little bit of a strange move, but I just wanted to get that dark squared bishop off the board, and now I have the bishop pair, and feeling quite alright here. So obviously this is still completely equal, so I was just playing chess, of course, and this is a variation of Vienna that I hadn't come across often, not even, I think not never, so yeah, that's new. Bishop g4 was played, h3, and now bishop h5. And here I took quite a long think. I think I thought for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because I didn't know what to play. And I was debating whether or not I should play g4. I thought it would be the best move, but I wasn't quite sure. So I took some time to calculate it all. And I decided eventually, yes, indeed, this is the move that I should play. And it's quite a computer move, as in it's good according to the computer, but it is obviously very difficult to play like this because it's very vulnerable for your king. However, I had seen the following sequence, which is knight xg4, pawn xg4, bishop xg4, bishop f7, brilliant move. King xf7, knight xe5, and then d xe5 and queen g4. This is the line that I saw, and this is the position that I saw in my head, and I thought, okay, this must be a pretty good position for me, although it should not be winning outright, but it should definitely be quite good. f4 is coming, maybe bishop d2, maybe bring my bishop somehow, So this is the position that we got on the board, and here my opponent played queen f6. And my feeling was that cannot be right. I can just open the position up with f4. And here, yeah, of course, I mean, I was feeling quite all right, you know. I was like, okay, this looks like a pretty good position to me. f4, he goes king g8. I go bishop d2. He goes knight c6. I go bishop c3. And apparently bishop c3 is not the best move. I should have played f5, which is quite committal, right? I mean, that's the reason why I probably didn't really like this, because I wanted to keep the position dynamic, and I wanted to keep it difficult. So here he played queen d6, and yeah, still here I'm just completely better. Of course, completely better is maybe a little bit of an overestimation, but it's definitely better for white if you look at the position. But it's not, there's no immediate way through, right? There's no immediate way to do this. I mean, if I take here, he just takes with his knight, I believe. And yeah, it's not immediately clear, right? And here, I thought maybe after this I can go here, and I attack this twice, and I attack this. And if he goes here, for example, I can take, and then no matter what he takes with, I at least get this check in. I don't know how good this is, but yeah, I don't know. This is something that I saw, and I was like, maybe that's something I should go for. However, I didn't really like this what was the reason I didn't like this? I thought, okay, after this he has this check, right? That's what I didn't like. So apparently this is bad, but I thought this wouldn't be really nice, because if I go, for example, I cannot go here because of checks, so maybe here. I don't know, I didn't really like this, but apparently this is fine. If he goes here, he can't, because he's losing a rook, and then also losing the bishop, or the knight actually. I don't know, maybe in my head I was overthinking it and I was making it more complex than it had to be, but that's why I decided maybe the best way to do this is by reversing the order of the moves, going queen h5 first and then deciding, okay, now then I can take and try to go here. But queen h5 is just a bad move. It's just a bad move because obviously he can just take. I mean, there's no two attackers on this pawn, and there's one attacker, but there's also one defender. So it's just a bad move. So queen h5 is the type of move that I only play the last few weeks because I just keep making silly mistakes like this and keep, being not really fully 100% there. Yeah, and then I thought, okay, maybe now I can go here, and then after taking, I can take here, and then maybe I'm still in a decent position, but I evaluated that this might not be a very good situation for me, as in now he has like the time to go here, and if I go here, for example, maybe he can even I probably should have taken here first. So maybe you can just take here, and then I don't know, now you go here, and this position looks better for black, considering he has two passed pawns, and yeah. Should be better for black. So I decided that is probably not the thing that I should do, so I didn't. I played rook f2, and then he played queen e7. Another mistake, by the way. There's a move here that wins for white. It's not rook g2. Spoiler. So here, obviously, you can take the pawn, right? But one thing that I didn't really want to allow is this check where I have to trade queens. Because that's essentially what you have to do here. I didn't want to allow this, but it's good for white. Now it's good for white because now he has double pawns on this side of the board, and he also has a pretty weak g7 pawn. So if I go here, for example, and let's say he goes here, let's say I go maybe here, threatening some stuff here, maybe threatening rook f7. This should be very good for white. Even if he takes here, for example, you can go like here probably, and this should be almost game over. And yeah. So, yeah, queen e7 is a bad move. However, kind of similar to the last game, I wanted to create an attack, and that's probably my biggest flaw in chess, is that I am very bad at saying, okay, there is no attack, I need to find another plan. The only thing that I can do is I'm searching for tactics, and that's not good. If you want to get better at chess, you need to also to get better at positional play. You need to get better at getting into favorable endgames, knowing when to trade or not. There's a lot of facets that make you a better chess player. And at this point, I'm way too prone to look for tactics. I'm way too prone to look for the one thing that I like the most about chess, which is tactics, of course. But yeah. So that's going to be pretty obvious in a few moves here. Okay, so rook h7 was played. Okay, of course defending. King h1. Obviously, I want to prevent the trade because I don't want to trade queens here. If I do, then I'm pretty much not much worse. But then this pawn. So the big problem in this position was that I allowed this pawn to be taken. Of course, that was the big problem. If I didn't allow this pawn to be taken and I kept my queen here, I could have also slowly built up an attack, and the same type of thing would have occurred. But okay. Rook f8, and now the beautiful bishop hg7. Yeah, I saw the brilliant signs in my head, I think, and then I was like, okay, this must be good. And the reason why I thought this would work is because of this exact sequence I'm going to show you right now. I thought, okay, if he takes with the rook, which is the only real move, right, then I'm going to take here. If he takes with the queen, well, obviously I go rook g1, and you are pinned, and if you take this and push, I'm just going to go here, and this is playable. It's definitely not easy yet. There's still a lot of work to be done here for white. It's not completely super easy, but still this should be just a pretty doable win. And yeah, so that obviously doesn't work. But what if you take with the king? And here I calculated, okay, if I go here, if he goes here, this is going to be checkmate. So that is not an option. If he goes here, I can go here. I force him into the corner, and now the beautiful move, rook or queen h6. And then I was like, okay, now he has only one option. He has to block, and then I take the rook, and I'm winning the game. Was it not for the fact that my queen is pinned to my king? So I have no option but to trade queens here, and now I'm down a knight, and I'm I have to deal with a very annoying passed pawn, which is already defended by his rook. AKA, this is unwinnable. There's no way anybody will ever win this. It's just impossible. So, yeah, Uh, yeah, once again, I mean, this pretty much sums up exactly what I just said. That I have the tendency to play to look for tactics, right? I want to find tactics. I want to win. I want to win the game in a nice fashion, and I almost did. But yeah, in this position, there is no nice way to win the game. There simply isn't, right? Because there's nothing to do. Yeah, I mean, you can go here. I'd even calculated this, and then f3, and then rook takes, and then 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 here. And I'm just losing. It's just losing. I want the queen. I can even take this, but he comes in with check, and he just takes my bishop, and I'm losing. So, yeah, I was like, I first, obviously, the longest time here, I looked at rook g1, which was the first move that I looked at, and after f3 is not even a good move, but I need to just go like rook f2, right? And I need to just, the game plan should just be to play the long game, right? Play the long game, and it is just equal. But you know, you can at least win the pawn back probably, and you can maybe get some things going on. So yeah. Yeah, I guess what I need to do is like focus a little bit less on the tactics, and try to really analyze the position, right? Because I somewhere in my mind I knew in this position like there is probably no real tactic that works. I calculated a little bit, and after a few minutes you're like, okay, there's probably nothing that actually works. I mean, at some point I thought bishop xg7 worked, but I mean, yeah, it's one, it's a miscalculation, and two, it's you're too prone to look for tactics, right? I mean, you need to obviously also be realistic and realize, okay, maybe there is no tactic here that wins the game. It almost worked though. It almost worked. There was almost a very nice tactic, but it didn't really work. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Very unfortunate. I mean, if you look at this position, you just think, okay, White is going to be cruising here, and it's going to be pretty straightforward from this point forward. But you know, it's not that easy, unfortunately. And yeah. There were more situations actually where I also saw some things. Right, there was. Yeah, where were the moments that I was referring about? So obviously with the bishop here and the queen here, you're always looking at potential queen or potential checkmates, right? I mean, that's what you do. So yeah, I mean, if a move like this and like something like this maybe should have been good, but it's just not, because there's always some way out, and you know. So there were some positions in which I looked at like moves like, I don't know, maybe this to attack this, and you know, just try to get some checkmate in, but it's never really, it's not really any possibility ever. It's always just equal. And yeah, it looked like a nice combination, but unfortunately there was one flaw in the whole process. So yeah, so this brings me to 2 losses in 1 week, which is very unfortunate, and yeah, I need to really bounce back, because I'm going to lose quite a lot of rating points if I keep continuing playing like this. I need to really start focusing more, and yeah, just one of the, like, obviously my playing style also causes me to draw quite low amount of times, right? I don't draw a lot, because obviously what I do is I get to a certain point, like, the reason, like the way you get draws is by acknowledging in this position that there is no win, right? That, like, if you look at this position, you look at it for 5 minutes, you think, okay, there is no way to win here, and you just continue playing game and playing chess. You will obviously probably get towards a draw, right? That's what most people will confirm. But if you play moves like bishop f7 or bishop g7, you're not going to win games, right? You're either gonna win them or you're gonna lose them. And if there is no win, you're gonna lose them. So that's the way it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and yeah, we need to bounce back. I think 1870 or something. So we have like 130 rating points to go. I have 2 more games this season, so hopefully in the remainder of this season I can win 2 more times. That would be very nice. I would probably get to like 1900 somewhere. Yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Bye.